Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is so early, and considering the fact that my last reading wrap up was so late, I'm quite happy about this. But it is the 28th of October today, and I don't suspect that I will be reading any more books in October. I'm currently reading two, and one of them I'm taking, both of them are being read very, very slowly. I feel like every time I have the intention of reading, something comes up and I have to put it down, and I'm just not reading it as quickly as I thought. So October's reading is pretty much done, and this month was a bit of a weird one. I had some hits and I had some misses, and we're gonna go through it, starting from my latest read to my most recent read down to the beginning of the month. Now, my most recent read is The Ever Queen by L.J. Andrews. This is the second book in the duology. This series, the Eversea series, is a series of interconnected duologies. So this first series follows the main couple, and then the next series, which the first book is already out, I don't know when the next book is coming out, follows one of the main characters, follows one of the side characters in this book. I am so obsessed with this world, I cannot even explain. I love the way the Fae are done in this book. I think sometimes, I've said it before and I'll say it again, sometimes reading books about Fae can become very repetitive, very boring. There's nothing new, there's nothing really grabbing your attention. This one, I love the way the Fae has been created. I love the magic system, I love the world. When I read these books, the world is so incredibly vivid to me, and I just feel like there's such a mystical element to this world that just gets me so excited. Like, I really feel like I'm in a fantasy world. I really feel like I understand everything that's happening, and I feel like I'm right there along with the characters, and I absolutely love it. This is like such a descriptive, vivid, detailed book, and I'm obsessed with the way it's done. So even just the way that the magic system is explained, the words to describe the magic is very unique. I've not read a book where magic is described in that way and has the names that it does in this book, and I'm absolutely obsessed. It's so interesting, and I just always feel like I'm like just like this in book, and I'm like, tell me more, I want to know more. And I love the couple in this. I love their story, I love the plot. I just think it's such a good romantasy duology. It doesn't feel too long, it doesn't feel too short, it doesn't feel rushed. It's perfect. I have no notes. I think I rated book 1 5.5, and I rated book 2 4.5, just because I didn't love it as much as book 1. Book 1 absolutely took me away, and I think it's just because book 1 was the entry into this world, and I was just absolutely mystified by everything, and I just felt like I was on the edge of my seat. And while I was on the edge of my seat in this one, everything was just, it wasn't brand new. Like, I knew the world, I was very comfortable in the world, and I loved everything about it. But the thing that I loved the most in this was the entry into the plot of the second set of duologies. I'm so excited. I kind of saw it coming. I was like, okay, so this is probably what's gonna have to happen, because it's what makes sense, and I know who the next set of book is about, so I guess that's what's gonna happen. And then I was right, and then we get more of this character that's gonna be in the next set of books, and I was just like, oh my god, I am so sat for this sounds so interesting, because not only do we have Fae, no, not gonna spoil it, but I love how all these different elements, so maybe this is a 5, because just thinking about it, I'm getting so excited, because so many more elements come into play, and we get introduced to so many new things, and I'm so intrigued, because I love Fae, but I love this other element just as much, and the fact that now both are combined in this book, I'm just like, yes, give me more. I want to know everything. I want to be in the minds of these characters, and the next set of duologies, I'm going to be just like that, and I'm so excited. And I really can't wait to see how everything kind of unveils and unravels, because yeah, I think a lot is going to happen. I do want to know what the main plot is going to be. Like, I do wonder if it's going to be what was described, or if there's like another plot that's going to come into play and it's going to all kick off. So I'm so intrigued. I do want to pick up The Mist Thief, not in November, because if you watched my TBR video that I posted on Monday, it's going to be a heavy month. But December, I'm picking up The Mist Thief. Next, I read A Bargain So Bloody. This is book 1 in the Kingdom of Dark Magic by Vasella Drake. I liked this. I don't want to say I loved this. I will devour. You tell me there's a book with vampires in it, I'm ordering it instantly. I don't have enough books with vampires in them, and I just love vampires. It's like, I love vampires more than I love fae. I will consume any book that has vampires in it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like because of Twilight and because of like Scudery Pleasant. I'm just so sat for vampire books. But I really liked this, but I just didn't love it. I will love, I suspect, book 2 way more, because what we got told in the end, I was like biting my hand. I was like, okay, now it's kicking off. Now something's happening. Now I am sat for this. Now I'm intrigued. But the beginning, it was just a bit like it was like a journey. There was nothing majorly exciting. It was kind of like a journey of, I don't know. I think the reason I didn't love this as much is because the main character went through so much, and I don't think it was properly explored once she was taken out of that situation and being introduced for how long she'd been in that situation. I don't feel like the journey that she went through was explored, and I don't think there was enough reality. Like, I just don't think that a character would be able to get through stuff so easily, and I feel like there was really needed this element of exploration into the main character and her mindset and the things she's struggling with, and just things that would be quite real for someone who went through her situation and for how long she'd been in that situation as well. There has to be marks left, and I didn't really feel like there was. So yeah, that's pretty much why I didn't love this as much as I really wanted to. I think I would have loved it. I think this would have been a 5-star if those elements, but it just took me out of the story, because I was like, this isn't realistic. Like, no character would be able to go through this as easily. Like, nonetheless, I am picking up the rest of the series, and I am really, really excited for book 2, because I think there's so much that's going to happen. You've got this one thing where just wish I could spoil. I just want to talk to people about books and things I loved about these books, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. But I'm really excited for book 2. I really can't wait to see things unravel from there. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, next I read Until the World Falls Down by Jordan Lind. I accept that I'm not the reader of this book. I rated this like a 2, and it's nothing to do with the writing. Well, I guess it has a little bit to do with the writing, but I'm just not the reader for this kind of book. I didn't enjoy it. There was nothing really grasping. I felt bored. Yeah, it was just, that's the best way to explain it, to be quite honest. I was bored. I didn't find myself really intrigued by the story or the plot. I was very confused at parts, to be quite honest, and it was probably because I wasn't paying so much attention to it. But this is really a story of an FMC going through self-discovery, working through her problems, discovering things about herself, and helping other people along the way. And that's it. And I was just incredibly bored. It was not what I signed up for. It's not what I was expecting, and I almost DNF'd it, but I was like, I had 100 pages left, and I was like, just finish it. You might as well just finish it. I wanted to find out if it was worth it in the end, and I don't think it was, because it didn't make sense to me at all. That ending was single-handedly the worst thing I'd ever read, because it made no sense to me. It didn't feel realistic. It didn't sound right. It didn't work. Yeah, just weird. Just weird. It is so gloomy in the UK right now. It's non-stop raining, and I feel so tired. But it's the perfect weather to read. So, anyway, I think next I read Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. This is a YA dark academia set in the afterlife, and that was so interesting. I love dark academia books. You tell me a book is dark academia, I'm picking it up immediately. And yet it's set in the afterlife. Like, I have never read anything like that. I was so intrigued with how it worked, and I really enjoyed this to a certain extent. I rated this 3.5. Now, the reason I rated it 3.5 is my own issues, not anything wrong with this book. First of all, it has like 6 POVs, which I feel like is way too much for the first book in a series. I understand why it was done, but for me it was too much. Every time I was trying to really understand one character, we were thrown in with another one, and then we were thrown into their plot line, and then we were thrown back to a different one, and I was like, this is making my head spin. First of all, we've got to kind of understand the world. Then we've got to understand the main characters, to which there are 6 of them. Then we have to understand the plot and the magic, and I just feel like it didn't, it worked, but it was too much. It was like set 2, maybe 4 at the most, but 6, that was just way too much for me. Every time I was just like really vibing with the character, we got taken out of their POV, and I was like, oh, just waiting for their POV to come next, and then it was just like I wasn't enjoying the POV that we had next, and I was like, this isn't really all that fun for me. And another issue I had with this book is the world building was a little bit lacking. I don't feel like we were properly explained the way the system worked for the academy, for the afterlife, for their jobs, why they were having to do this kind of trial thing every 100 years, I think it was. I think it was like 100 years. Every 100 years or 1,000 years, I don't know, something like that. They have a trial, and there can only be one victor, and that victor gets to graduate from the academy. And I just kept thinking too literal about it. I was like, a lot of these people have been in this academy for like 500 plus years. How are the lessons still being taught after 500 years in the academy? Like, surely at some point they've learned all they need to learn, and they just sat there, like they would just be waiting for the trial to come up rather than still continue going to lessons. Like, and then there's someone new who joins, but yet happens to be in the same class as someone who was in there for like 500 years. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me, and it was just taking me out of the book a lot. But I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed the plot. I really enjoyed like the world building, what we did know, but I just did have a lot of questions, and I just feel like things weren't properly explained and properly explored. So there is that, and that's why it was rated 3.5 and not like a 4 or 5. But I'm going to continue the series because I'm really hooked into the plot, and I really want to know how things work out. I think this is a trilogy, so we have 2 more books to come out. I think the next book's coming out in 2026. So definitely will be continuing it because the plot is what really hooks me, and everything else was kind of non-consequential. But yeah, just had those problems with it. Next, I read A City of Flames by Rina Vasquez. This is a dragon shifter romantasy, and I love it. I still have not bought books 2 and 3. I'm trying to be so well behaved with my book buying ban because I'm setting myself on a book buying ban, and I feel like it's going terribly wrong. And there's like so many releases, and I'm trying to behave, and it's so hard. But I really, really do want books 2 and 3. I really like this book. I rated it a 4.5, and I just had the best time. The FMC was so interesting, and I really loved being ahead, and she was so sarcastic and, you know, strong and independent. And when everything kind of blew up in her face, she kind of took it in stride and was like, okay, something's wrong here. I'm questioning it. I'm not just going on this vengeance tangent. Like, I'm kind of, my eyes are being opened to what's happening, and I have so many questions, and it's kind of holding me back from being so vengeance forward. I have so many questions. I'm so excited to what it means, especially for the FMC, because I have suspicions but no confirmations just yet, and I need those confirmations. I need to know that I'm right, because if I'm right, I'm gonna be so excited. But yeah, this is just such a good dragon shifter romantasy. It's full of vengeance, it's full of magic, it's full of mystery, and it's just like my favorite thing. I love romantasies like that, and yeah, definitely excited to be reading books 2 and 3. It's a completed trilogy out already, and I definitely think it's worth picking up because it was one of my best reads for my 24-hour readathon, and then things kind of went downhill because I actually also tried to read The Raven Scholar and DNF that like 60 pages in, because it just wasn't what I was in the mood for, and that's not a permanent DNF. I do want to give that another go, because I do think that I'm going to enjoy it when I'm in the right mindset for it. And then I think after that, like, books didn't really live up to how excited, like, I really wanted to read books 2 and 3 after finishing this, but of course it wasn't possible for it to come in time, so I had to pick up something else. And I think after reading this, nothing kind of really lived up to how I felt reading this, and that's probably why some are rated a bit lower afterwards. But yeah, I love this series and I can't wait for books 2 and 3. Next, I read my first Stephanie Garber book in years. The last book I tried to read from her was Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I really hate to say this when I say books, but I hated it. Like, I really didn't like it. It wasn't for me. It just... no, I didn't like it. But I did end up picking Alchemy of Secrets. I never intended to, but when it was picked up as a book club pick, I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. Like, it's short. If I hate it, like, I'll sell it. If I don't, then that's great. I found a new book. The premise of this kind of is what prompted me to pick this up. I feel like I've been reading a lot of alchemy books recently. I did say in one of my last videos, like, the books that are coming out with alchemy magic and alchemy whatever is on a rise, I feel, recently. I feel like this month alone I've read 3 books on alchemy magic. Well, I guess I'm on my 3rd. I've read 2 books on alchemy magic, and there are more coming out, and I don't know what it is or why it's something that's coming out so much, but I'm here for it. I've been really enjoying it, and Alchemy of Secrets is no different. I really enjoyed this, surprisingly. I rated it 4 star. I was so intrigued by the mystery in this. Like, I felt like every time I thought something was going to happen, I felt like I was tricked, and I was like, I'm so hooked. Like, I want to figure this out. I really want to know if I'm going to get this right. And then all the plot twists were coming out and my head was turning, and I was just having so much fun trying to unravel the mystery. And I just really think this is a really good mystery book, more than a fantasy book. You really go on a journey with the FMC while she's kind of working through her mystery and trying to unravel her story. And then the huge plot twist in the end, I didn't see coming. I didn't see that coming. There was no hint that that was what was happening, and I was like, wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I'm so happy I did pick this up, and it is a really short read. I read this in one sitting, and I was just page after page after page, something was happening and something was keeping me hooked in, and I couldn't put it down. I had to figure it out. I had to know what was going to happen. And yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm so surprised, but yeah, I just had the best time. I wouldn't call this a romantasy. Well, I guess it kind of is, but the romance is on a very low on the totem pole. Like, the prominent character in this is the mystery, and that's what really keeps you hooked, and that's what keeps you reading. And yeah, I think this was so much fun. And I don't know if there's going to be other books in the series. The ending kind of opened up for the possibility, but it's not cemented. It's not like a cliffhanger or anything. So I have no idea. I don't follow the author, so I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, it's really cinematic. It's really, I think it is a standalone, to be fair. It's really built up. The world is crafted perfectly, and it felt like I was there. I felt like I was feeling what the author wanted me to feel, and I was just having the best time. Next, I read, okay, this is in the wrong order. I actually read this after Alchemy of Secrets and after City of Flames and after Immortal Consequences, I'm pretty sure. Exquisite Ruin by Adrienne May. I have read another book by this author, and it was a YA book. It was called The Undying Season. And when I found out this is by the same author and I read the back, I was so intrigued. I was like, this sounds really good. This sounds right on my alley. Put me in a maze. Put me there along with the characters. I want to live it. Unfortunately, I did not enjoy this. I think I rated this a 3 star. The beginning had so much promise. I was really locked in. I was really like trying to, I felt like I was right there along with the characters. I was trying to, you know, I was really like hooked into the romance and trying to figure out what their deal was. The ending ruined it for me. First of all, what a mindfuck. Like, genuinely, what a mindfuck. Couldn't figure out what the author was trying to say. Couldn't figure out how it worked or what it meant or anything like that. And it just, like, trying to figure it out really took me out of the book. I was like, I don't care anymore. Like, that was confusing. It was unnecessary. It didn't do anything to the plot. It didn't make any difference. And, yeah, just super confusing. And I was just like, the characters must be so confused as well. How do they work out that mindfuck? Like, how are they not sitting with their heads in their hands, thinking, pondering their existence? That's literally how it felt. I did not have a good time with this up until like the 60% mark. And then it just felt repetitive. It felt a bit boring. There was no excitement in it. And then the ending, yeah, just ruined it for me. Didn't have a great time. I'm still wondering if the characters are okay, to be quite honest. There is going to be a book 2. Am I going to read it? No, I'm not reading it. I can't put myself through that again. And I just didn't feel like it needed a book 2. I feel like this could have been a standalone. Still wouldn't have been great. Still wouldn't have enjoyed it. But I feel like it still would have made, not making sense. I just don't think there's any plot for book 2. I don't think there's any reason for a book 2, but I haven't read it, so I don't know. It could be a pretty good plot, but I'm not reading it. I'm really disappointed because her YA book, phenomenal. Absolutely blew me away. Hooked from beginning to end. Her new adult is so weird, but her new adult didn't like it, didn't have fun, was confused, didn't like how my head just felt like it was going to hang off my head and wanted to fall out. Yeah, and I usually love new adult over YA, and this time it was the other way around. Yeah. Anyway, next book I read, Neverthorn by Shannon Mayer. This is another dark academia book. It was good. It was okay. It wasn't as great as I was thinking. The FMC in this is older. She's significantly older than the majority of the students at this school. She gets taken back to the school she had run away from when she was younger. Did she read like she was significantly older than most of the students in this school? Absolutely not. She read way too young. I just kept having to remind myself of her age, and I was like, she is older than me, and yet I feel older than her. Like, it just didn't make sense, and I was just like, when you have that and you have to keep reminding yourself of a character, a main character's age, and when it shouldn't even be a factor, realistically, it's not really something you think too deeply about when you're reading a book. I was like, this keeps taking me out of the story. I'm not hooked in. I'm not feeling any connection to the character. I love the headmaster. I mean, I think he's the headmaster, or is he the professor? I'm obsessed with professor and student romances, as long as it's not like a huge age gap, but I love it. I will gob it up every time. I love the professor in this. I love how mysterious and offish she is, and how there's so much more than meets the eye, I feel like, with him. But the FMC just kept ruining it for me. First of all, she's clearly supposed to have issues, you know, their nemesis. She hates him. She's supposed to hate him because of what he did. And you're told that very early on what he did to make her hate him and to kind of put that barrier between them. And I feel like that barrier crumbled very quickly. Not in a huge way, but it felt on the FMC side, she really forgot very, very quickly why she hated him. And there was nothing he did to kind of... There's nothing he did that deserved that wall to crumble. Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to deserve her forgiveness or her to forget it. Like, that's just two things that took me out of the book. And after that, I was like, okay, this isn't as great as I thought it was going to be. Am I going to read book 2? Yes, because she did get better at the end. But it was just the beginning part and all those elements that... So, yeah, it was a 4-star. I'm pretty disappointed about this. God, I feel like there was more misses than hits this month. Now, the absolute star of the show, the star of the month, the one that blew me away, the one that kind of wrenched out my soul, ripped it up and threw it away. Alchemized by Sin Lin Yu. This took me 2 weeks to read. I was taking my time with it. If you could see the amount of tabs, annotations, highlights, I want to say I had a ball, but that doesn't seem really suitable and appropriate considering what this book is about. But I just feel like this book was done phenomenally well. I have never read a dark fantasy book like this ever before, and now I just want more. Like, yes, rip out my soul. Have it. Just give me more. That's all I want. This beauty has me addicted. I have bought the paperback edition of this with the sprayed edges. This is the Waterstones edition, and I bought the Fairy Loot. I want it all. In languages that I can read. I'll preface it by that. I'm not buying a German edition or languages that I can't read. No. I'm going to be sensible, who says she has 3 books of the same editions of the same book. But I want it all. Like, I just feel like this has notched itself inside my head, and I will never, ever, ever have this leave me. Like, this is something that's permanently stuck in my brain, who is permanently made its mark on me, and I just don't think I'll ever be the same. This book is just the way it has you emotionally wrecked. You are so connected to the characters. You feel what they feel. You feel like, I just don't think I can do this book justice. But just, if you haven't read this yet and you are a dark, I'm not going to say dark romance because it's not a romance. Please do not go into this thinking there's some like mind-blowing romance. It's not. This is heartbreak. This is trauma. This is PTSD. This is going through all those elements in such exquisite detail and really making sure that it's given its time. Sin Lin Yu knows how to write a book. She knows how to write a book, and I really, really hope she comes out with more, because I think the way she writes is phenomenal. You can really see that she did her due diligence. She really made sure to kind of bring you into the character, rip you apart, and then hand you back by the end. By the way, that ending, was not expecting that at all. I'm not gonna go into any more detail because I'm not gonna ruin it. Didn't expect it at all. Yeah, 5 star of the show. I'm gonna put her right there. Absolute phenomenal. I can't stop eating up the artwork. I scour the internet for artwork on this book, and I love it so much. I think I'm gonna buy some prints because I just feel like I need them. I love them so much. I need them on my wall. I need to see them every day, and I just need to be reminded them, because this book is a book that refuses to be forgotten. Now, last but not least, beginning of the month I read Anathema, and then towards the end of the month I read Eldritch. This is the first 2 books in the Eating Woods trilogy. Anathema, 5 star. Eldritch, 5 star. I mean, Anathema was a reread. Eldritch is so much darker, which was hard after reading Alchemized. Kind of thought I needed a break from dark romance. This book said no. This book says I'm going to take you through it. I feel like Kerry Lake does such a phenomenal work on really feeding you the character, really making you understand the character in such detailed ways. I feel like I have lived with these characters my entire life. I feel like I know everything about them, and it's just pure heartbreak. It is so sad, but the fact that they have each other mends me right up. I am obsessed with them. I loved Anathema more than Eldritch, and it's not because of the flashbacks, it's just because the plot kind of was a bit like lukewarm. It didn't really feel like there was any spikes in the plot, and I feel like it took too long to get to certain things. I do have some queries. I don't know how this is going to be a trilogy, to be quite honest, because I don't feel like anything was properly advanced in book 2, and I don't know how that's going to be wrapped up in book 3. Because I feel like I thought something was going to happen, and now I'm not so sure how it's going to, because we have 1 book left, and that doesn't really seem feasible to me at all. But I love them. I'm really hoping there'll be special editions of these books, because I would love to own them in hardback. I would love to have art. I love them so much, and I love how nothing's easy in this book. Like, the romance isn't easy. It's a journey, and they're really trying to figure out things about themselves and work through things themselves while also having each other and working things out together. And I think that's so beautiful and I love it so much. If you haven't read the Eating Woods trilogy yet, to which there are only books 1 and 2, you really should. First of all, these are thick beasts, so you get a lot of time with these characters. 5-star series if you haven't read yet. But yeah, that is, ow, that really hurt. That is my October reading wrap up. I read quite a lot, to be fair. In the beginning of the month, I felt like I wasn't reading that much because Alchemized was taking so much of my reading time, and I was reading it incredibly slowly. Like, I mean 50 pages an hour, kind of slowly. That I didn't feel like I was going to read half as much as I have read. And while it was a very mixed reading month, I feel like overall I'm quite happy, and I found some phenomenal books, and yeah, I'm really impressed how much I actually managed to get read. But that is it for my October reading wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in my next video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you then. Thank you. Bye.